Welcome back to r/ProRevenge, where pastors and boyfriends are scandalous creeps. Oh yes, you heard that right. These are two stories that you're going to love. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Dishonest, hypocritical pastor loses it all. I used to be very religious. At the end of that period of my life, I became involved with a new church that was pastored by a charismatic young pastor who seemingly had everything going for him. But the dude was greedy. Too greedy. As the saying goes, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Pastor Hog got slaughtered. My wife and I were looking for a church. An old friend invited us to a new church that was energetic and full of friends. We started attending regularly and eventually became involved with the leadership of the church. After a while, I started to become uneasy around the pastor. The way he communicated with people just rubbed me the wrong way. I slowly realized that he was a manipulator and a compulsive liar, quick with an overzealous compliment, but slow to explain himself when issues arose. It started with little things like lifting sermons wholesale from the internet without doing any personal research. Then, a habit of when the small church couldn't afford to pay a full-time salary, he was fired from every entry-level part-time job he started with no good explanation as to why. Soon, the sermons demanding church members give more money became frequent. He then refused to find part-time work. This, all despite the fact that he lived in a much nicer home than any of the church members, which was gifted to him from a church member in a previous church. And he seemed to live a very comfortable life. My wife and I eventually took over the church accounting. We were appalled by the frivolous spending and mounting credit card debt, accruing at insane interest rates. I started to pore over the credit card statements, some going back a couple of years. It was insanity. Credit card cash withdrawals? Clearly personal expenses charged to the church. $200 for a massage on Christmas Eve? Why is he putting his wife's last-minute Christmas gifts on the church card? And then, one day, I fired up the church computer and a messenger app popped up. 2 clicks, and I was confronted with messages to women in which he propositioned them to come meet him in his super legitimate business office in a shiny high-rise, which was really a shitty tiny office he recently decided to lease on the church dime. The church was in between buildings at the time. To come sit on his giant, throbbing businessman 8-inch PP. I confronted him about the messages, and he fessed up, admitting he sent the messages, had never done it before, and it was a mere lapse in discretion. He said he would cut it out. No big deal. I believed him and didn't tell anyone. A few months later, a young unmarried musician in the church became pregnant. He made a huge spectacle about it and kicked her out. Turns out, in his opinion, we couldn't have the blight of sin on display at the church. Wait, what? The petty lies turned into more elaborate lies, mostly about how church money was spent, but also what he was doing with all his time. Things were out of hand. I sat down with him and his wife to go through the credit card statements line by line to work out which charges the church would pay. I then said, "We can't pay for a Christmas massage for your wife." The wife said, "What? He didn't get me any massage. We can't afford that." Again, one Sunday morning, I fired up the church computer and noticed that all the internet history had been wiped. I became suspicious, and after a discussion with a couple of church leaders, began to monitor traffic on the computer, which was church property, he being an employee of the church. The church had the right to monitor the computer. Within a matter of days, it became apparent that he was cruising the net for ladies of the evening. To his credit, it seemed he was looking for older, discount ladies of the evening. He had a church-provided cell phone, and I had access to the account. A quick check confirmed a pattern. Hits on an ad, a phone call to the corresponding number. 1-minute call. Another ad, another number, another minute. Repeated until a call lasted more than a couple of minutes, and then no more calls for a day or two. In the course of 7 days, there were 4 distinct episodes following the same pattern. Looking at the past phone records, I was able to work out that he had been doing it for years, during and right after the time when I caught him pretending to be a totally legit successful businessman on messaging apps. The dude lied right to my face, played conspicuous, which I'm pretty sure is not a word, and I swallowed it whole. I felt like a total fool. I checked up on him during work hours. He wasn't in the church office, which is now at the church building. He wasn't home with his wife, and she said he was at the church. Nope. Guilt a bunch of people who look up to you into giving you more money while spending all kinds of money banging ladies of the evening? Kick out some hapless pregnant teenager because of an impropriety while banging ladies of the night with your prodigious business pee-pee? Pay for a Christmas rug and tug at a 20% compounding interest rate? Unforgivable. I brought together all the records I could get my hands on and organized them. Excel spreadsheets with times and phone numbers. Printouts of the ad complete with full color pictures, list of suspicious credit card charges, color coordinated and collated. It was an unimpeachable record that even the slipperiest liar would not be able to explain away. I contacted the church leaders and shared what I'd found. We called a meeting and confronted him. He immediately went into damage control. He resigned on the spot and begged us not to tell his wife or anyone else. No freaking way. I sent my masterpiece to his wife and walked her through it. Anytime he fed her a lie, I set her straight with raw data. She kicked him out, filed for divorce, and left the state. Church disbanded. He disappeared and eventually filed for bankruptcy. I haven't been to church since. I still Google his name from time to time. After a couple of years, I got a hit about him working at low levels in some church. Every time I would check, he was at a different church. I've been tempted to dust off my folder of destruction, but I figure he's been through enough. Harass my girlfriend, and I will break off your engagement. This is how it starts. My girlfriend decides to move to NJ after graduating to start off work. Being the poor graduate student at the time, she's looking to save money by sharing an apartment with a roommate. She hunts for a place on Indian Craigslist and finds a 2-bedroom apartment posted by another girl. The rent is cheap, and the girl seems to be okay. She moves in. Soon, she realizes that this girl has a fiancé. Let's call him Dongface. Dongface works as a software engineer through a shady consulting firm. Dongface visits his girl every weekend and consummately displays his obnoxious self. He hoards the only bathroom every night for 2 hours at a time, taking a beauty bath. Post his bath, Dongface proceeds to watch Indian TV at full volume late into the night. This happens every weekend. When I heard this, I asked my girlfriend to move out, but the rent is cheap and she wants to avoid the hassle of searching for another place. Fast forward 3 months. Dongface is laid off from his job and moves into my girlfriend's shared apartment. Now, he hoards the bathroom twice a day for 2 hours each and blasts Indian TV at full volume all day. My girlfriend is super annoyed and brings this up with Dongface's fiancé. She wants my girlfriend to adjust for a while as she thinks Dongface will get a job soon and move out. She also promises to ask Dongface to tone down his obnoxious behavior. Nothing changes. And then, my girlfriend starts receiving emails from an unknown ID. Hey baby, I really love the way you look. I want to get to know you physically. Girlfriend has seen her fair share of perverts and proceeds to block this email ID. But the emails kept coming from other alternate IDs. Hey baby, why are you not replying? Say yes and we can have a no strings attached relationship. Baby, please reply. We can hook up without your boyfriend in Boston knowing. This creeps her out. Our relationship is new and very few people know that we're together. She forwards me those emails to see if I could figure out who this pervert is. I immediately suspect Dongface as he was around when I helped her move into this place. To test my hypothesis, I visited her the next day and stayed with her for a couple of days. No emails. The next day I pretend to leave, and she gets another email. Please reply, baby. I'm trying to play with you. Now, I was pretty sure this was Dongface, but had no hard evidence to confirm it was him. I needed to come up with a plan. I went through all his old emails, and there was one that was sent from a cellular device. Aha! I look up the email details. Received from redacted. Ex-mailer, iPhone mail. This makes my case stronger. The IP address points to the same approximate location where my girlfriend stays. Also, Dongface has an iPhone. Still not 100% sure. I get an idea and ask my girlfriend to play along. I rent out a hotel close to her place, in case Dongface turns crazy. My girlfriend tells her roommate that she's been receiving inappropriate emails from some unknown person, and that she's going to approach the cops. Dongface's face turns blue. He asks my girlfriend not to go to the cops as they will not register a case without any indication of a real threat. Like I didn't know that. My girlfriend pretends to agree with him. The next day, my girlfriend tells Dongface and his girl that she went to the cops and they traced the IP of the sender. The emails are being sent from the home Wi-Fi network. Dongface is now shitting bricks. He proceeds to convince his girl that it's super easy to hack into a home Wi-Fi network and it could have been anybody. His girl buys the story. As they say, love is blind. Then the final bombshell. A few hours later, my girlfriend tells Dongface and his girl that the cops want her to come down to the police station this evening. The cops have identified the pervert who has been sending her the emails. She also tells them that the cops want her to press charges, and it'll be a 2-year jail term at the minimum. Dongface is now in panic mode. My girlfriend can hear him pacing inside his room, yelling at his girl. He comes out sobbing and confesses. He asks my girlfriend not to pursue charges and to ask the cops to forget the whole thing. He's also willing to refund her rent for the last 6 months from his pockets. Meanwhile, I've already found her a new 1-bedroom apartment. She takes the money and leaves. A few weeks later, Dongface gets an anonymous email that says, "There were no cops all along. There will be if you get the slightest idea of retaliating." On the same day, my girlfriend gets an email from Dongface's fiance. It reads, "Sorry for all the trouble. As you can imagine, I broke off my engagement with that pervert. Also, he had to return to India as he could not find a new job. Good riddance." Alright guys, that brings us to the end of today's videos. Let me know which story was your favorite in the comment section below. And as always, smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you guys in the next video.